San Francisco, everyone's favorite American city, where 1 million people a day have left their hearts behind. I'm Simon Kane, and this is a taste of California. Its famous roller coaster streets and unique neighborhoods are set against picture-perfect backdrops with legendary bridges, extraordinary bay vistas, notorious island prisons, and a city resplendent in color and life. Even the infamous fog that creeps in off the ocean and envelops the city without warning won't matter. It just adds an almost surreal aspect to the scene, just like in the movies. Movies? I know a man who knows about movies.
There was a great movie here filmed in 1968 with Steve McQueen. Bullet is correct. What color was the car?
Was it a green Mustang?
It was a green Mustang. That's absolutely fabulous.
So this is the whole idea of urban safari. I mean, the pith helmets, the safari. Yeah. I mean, how did all this come about? What was the idea?
Well, the idea for pith helmets and clothes actually was born in Africa. And I was over there quite a few times and thought this idea of adventure and an expedition could be brought back to an urban environment, a city where we could still go out every day and find new things. So, urban safari. This is the classic shot of San Francisco. You see it on every postcard, in every calendar. You got the Victorians and then the city in the background. Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kindergarten Cop filmed here. We're going to head up to Twin Peaks, which is not the highest point in San Francisco. That honor belongs to Mount Davidson. Noe Valley is also home to one of the finest collections of chocolates in all of San Francisco. This is pink peppercorn. Pink peppercorn.
I was born in San Francisco. I used to live about a mile from here, and today I saw 4 things that I never saw before. I love the urban safari. I highly recommend it to anyone. It's great. I loved it. So did my family.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I know I speak for the entire city of San Francisco. And when you leave here, you may leave your heart, but you shan't leave your name, my friend.
You spoil me. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your hostessing. Kravitz.
There is and always will be another favourite way of touring parts of the city, the cable car, which is part of the San Francisco Municipal Railway, which means trolley buses, historic streetcars and these world-famous cable cars. Actually, you're better off getting on at the first stop rather than at the start because of the queue, but don't tell anyone else. And there's a nice little bonus when it comes to using the cable car. Let's just hope someone points it out. Come have a look at this. I picked this up at my hotel. Now, this is information about City Pass, and City Pass is a booklet of admission tickets that effectively gives you a 50% discount on entrance to some of the city's very, very best attractions. And if you'd like to follow me, I'll show you some of them. Yes, the cable car is one of the City Pass highlights, and with it you can ride any municipal railway passenger vehicle, getting you pretty much anywhere in the city, for 7 consecutive days from the date validated on the cover of the ticket book. And here are a couple more City Pass inclusions to keep you busy, starting with... This incredible structure is the historic Palace of Fine Arts, built in 1915 as part of the Panama Pacific Exposition, which celebrated the completion of the Panama Canal. Since 1969, it's been the home of the Exploratorium, a place where hundreds of exhibits combining science, art and human perception are displayed more in the form of an experimental laboratory than a museum. And if you're thinking that it's a place designed for children, you'd be right. It is for children. Children of all ages, or more accurately, curious minds of all ages. And a little further along the wharfs, the aquarium on the bay is dedicated to the rich and diverse aquatic life of San Francisco Bay. You can learn how the bay's environment nurtures everything from the tiniest shrimp to the most regal shark. There's a moving walkway which guides you through 2 crystal clear tunnels on a descent into the hidden world of life under the bay. The Blue and Gold Fleet is the Bay Area's largest provider of ferry and water excursion services. They offer spectacular bay cruises as well as ferries to Sausalito and Angel Island, and also run tours to the wine country, Monterey and Carmel, and Yosemite National Park. Back in the bay, they are the exclusive provider of tours to Alcatraz. In 1849, Isidore Boudin first applied the artistry of French baking to a basic sourdough technique and created the original San Francisco sourdough French bread. About 30 years ago, Boudin's owner and master baker, Steve Garrado Sr., opened the first retail demonstration bakery on Fisherman's Wharf. So flash your city pass and have a look around.
The stairs and to your right.
But now it's time to leave downtown San Fran and head south. If you travel a mere 20 miles south of the city, you'll find this wonderful, quaint hamlet named after its crescent-shaped bay. This is Half Moon Bay, and it's a slice of everything California has to offer in one little seaside village. Its cute little old town is all antiques, coffee houses, arty shops, and weatherboarding on ornate Victorian wooden houses. The oldest at the north end of Main Street, dating back to 1849. Half Moon Bay always was a big fishing town, and to a certain extent it still is. Plenty of fresh fish still arrives daily, which is why the seafood restaurants are so full of freshly caught produce and delicacies like wild salmon and king crab. Actually, you can even hop on a crab boat and see how it's all done. There are lots and lots of affordable accommodations, hotels and motels, and then there are accommodations like this, the absolutely gorgeous Millrose Inn, steeped in authentic 19th century charm. The quaintest of B&Bs, the Millrose Inn has 6 lovely rooms and serves breakfast in paradise. But if it's the big boys you're after, then this is the Ritz-Carlton. Inspired by the grand seaside lodges of the 19th century and overlooking 50 miles of crisp Californian coastline, it was named by Condé Nast Traveller as one of the world's best places to stay. And judging by the food, probably one of the best places to eat too. And there's more fab food at another of Half Moon Bay's famed establishments, the Half Moon Bay Inn. And while these guys go looking for big waves, I'm heading back into San Francisco for a big night out. Inside here on San Francisco's historic waterfront on Pier 29 is Teatro Zinzanni. Can you even start to imagine what's inside? No, you can't, I promise you.
Welcome to Teatro Zinzanni.
Think Moulin Rouge. Actually, forget Moulin Rouge. It's much bigger than that.
Bring on the feast of love! You shall seduce me using only your eyes. You're using your tongue a little bit. That's out of bounds. All right. Woo, Bobby, come on. That's it. Read it, baby. There's a fan. Just give me something to hang on to.
thought it was really funny.
And what was all that about, with you being wheeled around in a wheelbarrow?
Well, it was really fun.
And dangerous.
It was dangerous, but it was really fun.
I missed it because I was in the bathroom.
Thanks for
That was really cool.
Definitely, everybody should come and see this at least once in your lifetime. It's wonderful.
What did I tell you? Is that a spectacular evening or what? Magnificent. The first exit off US 101 at the northern end of Golden Gate Bridge is the picturesque, if not slightly bohemian, Sausalito. You can incidentally get there by taking one of the ferries, the Golden Gate ferry service from the foot of Market Street and the Blue and Gold Fleet from Pier 41 at Fisherman's Wharf. In days gone by, a gritty community of sea traders and fishermen, bars and bordellos, Sausalito now feels much like the French Riviera, without the French. A wonderfully eclectic mix of paper millionaires and struggling authors, swanky restaurants and beer parlours, pricey boutiques and second-hand bookshops. But above all, it's a great day out or a peaceful overnighter away from the frenzy of San Francisco. There are hundreds of hotels in San Francisco and about half a dozen in Sausalito, but this one, the Inn Above Tide, is unique amongst them all because it is the only one, it's the one and only in the entire Bay Area directly on the waterfront. It's got 29 rooms. Every room has a deck, every deck is on the water, and every one of them has this view. There is one room that I think would be fair to say deserves that extra special mention. It's the penthouse, and it's incredible. And then it's back to the city for more big savings from my City Pass booklet. The de Young Museum has been an integral part of Golden Gate Park for over 100 years. Damaged during the 1989 earthquake, the museum was radically redesigned by acclaimed Swiss architects Herzog and de Meuron and reopened in 2005. Now once again it serves as Northern California's premier venue for major travelling exhibitions, and some of the exhibits are simply extraordinary. But you won't see this Renoir at the museum.
The Renoir Hotel was built in 1909. It is a historical landmark registered in the city of San Francisco. We're centrally located in this city. This is a diagram of San Francisco. This is the Golden Gate Bridge, and this is the Bay Bridge. This is the Fisherman's Wharf area. The Renoir Hotel is located right here. We have 135 rooms, ranging from a standard room, suites and superior category rooms, and one of the best ones is actually the corner rooms on the acute part of the triangle because they provide so much light in the morning. We also have a Brazilian restaurant inside the hotel called the Café do Brasil. It's actually the first Brazilian restaurant to introduce the churrasco rodizio barbecue, which is very common in South America.
But if you need a hotel right in the centre of the metropolis with exceptional levels of, well, everything really, you'll find one on 4th Street, and it's called the Marriott. Well, it's pretty obvious that Northern California is hardly short of major attractions, so your biggest problem won't be what to see, but when on earth to see them all, especially when within striking distance of the metropolis are 4 more phenomenal days out. On Great American Parkway in Santa Clara, between highways 101 and 237, is Paramount's Great America, the only theme park in California to offer a complete water park inside a theme park for one admission price. There are now 13 water slides, a brand new heated swimming lagoon, the area's longest lazy river, 2 new body water slides, and exclusive poolside cabanas. Kids can climb and explore a giant water-powered playhouse and bounce and play in their very own splash area. For bigger kids, rides like Top Gun provide the ultimate in high-speed thrills. And best of all, children 2 and younger get in free. For something so completely off the wall, pay a visit to the extraordinary #1 San Jose phenomenon that is the Winchester Mystery House. Sarah Winchester, grieving widow of the Connecticut arms maker, built the 160-room Victorian mansion on the advice of a psychic who said she must appease the spirits of those killed with Winchester rifles. It's full of strange oddities such as disappearing stairways, doors that open onto 10-foot drops and windows opening onto black walls, all planned, apparently, to confuse the spirits of the Winchester rifle victims. It also, and somewhat unsurprisingly, houses the largest collection of Winchester rifles on the West Coast. The Bonfante Gardens family theme park in Gilroy is the perfect combination of glorious gardens with all the excitement of a traditional family theme park in 600 acres of rural countryside. There are 41 rides and attractions around the park and 4 incredible gardens, but without a doubt, the most extraordinary of them all is the world-famous collection of circus trees. Believe me, they're not easy to explain, so have a good look at them and always read the label. And the time to come to this horticultural wonderland is April to October. Why? Because that's when it's open. In the 1880s, narrow-gauge steam locomotives were used to haul giant redwood logs out of the mountains. Here in Felton, Roaring Camp is an amazing recreation of an 1880s railroad logging camp with 2 historic railroads which take visitors up to Bear Mountain or down to the beach at Santa Cruz and the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The authentic 19th century steam train travels through towering redwood groves and up a winding narrow-gauge grade through the enchanting big trees to the summit of Bear Mountain with narrative included, and back again in 1 hour. Or ride the beach train on these vintage early 1900s Pullman cars and open-air excursion cars from the redwoods down the scenic San Lorenzo River Gorge to the sunny beaches of Santa Cruz and Monterey Bay. This one's a 3-hour round trip that can also start at the beach. Not any beach, but the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The 98-year-old park is the only major seaside amusement park on a mile-long stretch of the Pacific coast bordering the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Admission to the boardwalk is free. Individual ride tickets, all-day rides passes, group discounts and season passes are all available. Well, it certainly is apparent there's no shortage of wonderful things to do here in San Francisco, and pretty much at the top of my list are the fantastic dining opportunities available and, of course, San Francisco Bay. So wouldn't it just be wonderful to combine both of those things? Well, Hornblower Cruises and Events is a company that combines both of them to perfection. Taffeta Burr-Lewis is Associate Director of Sales and Marketing. Taffeta, tell me about this Hornblower experience.
Well, Hornblower's been sailing the San Francisco Bay for over a quarter of a century. We have 4 locations, San Francisco, obviously, Marina del Rey, Newport Beach, and San Diego. Right now, we're on the California Hornblower, our flagship yacht. It's our crown jewel of our fleet. We have 10 yachts, actually, in San Francisco. that can accommodate anywhere from an intimate group of 2 to a large group of 2,000. While you're on board with us, you experience all of the best elements of San Francisco. You see the beautiful sights like the Golden Gate Bridge, Coits Tower, the cityscape, the Bay Bridge, all the great sights that you see from the city streets, but you get a totally different perspective when you're on the water. And then of course we add in beautiful dinner service, fine California wines, and you can top off the night with us dancing the night away on our dance floor with our live bands and solo entertainers. It's a fabulous experience on the Bay.
Filmed here. We're going to head up to Twin Peaks, which is not the highest point in San Francisco. That honor belongs to Mount Davidson. Noe Valley is also home to one of the finest collections of chocolates in all of San Francisco. This is pink peppercorn. Pink peppercorn.
I was born in San Francisco. I used to live about a mile from here, and today I saw 4 things that I never saw before. I love the urban safari. I highly recommend it to anyone. It's great.
Where 1 million people a day have left their hearts behind. I'm Simon Kane, and this is a taste of California. Its famous roller coaster streets and unique neighborhoods are set against picture-perfect backdrops with legendary bridges, extraordinary bay vistas, notorious island prisons, and a city resplendent in color and life. Even the infamous fog that creeps in off the ocean and envelops the city without warning won't matter. It just adds an almost surreal aspect to the scene. San Francisco, everyone's favorite American city, just like in the movies. Movies? I know a man who knows about movies.
There was a great movie here filmed in 1968 with Steve McQueen. Bullet is correct. What color was the car?
Was it a green Mustang?
It was a green Mustang. That's absolutely fabulous.
So this the whole idea of urban safari, I mean, the pith helmets, the safari, I mean, how did all this come about? What was the idea?
Well, the idea for pith helmets and clothes actually was born in Africa. And I was over there quite a few times and thought this idea of adventure and an expedition could be brought back to an urban environment, a city where we could still go out every day and find new things. So, urban safari. This is the classic shot of San Francisco. You see it on every postcard, in every calendar. You got the Victorians and then the city in the background. Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kindergarten Cop.